Yeah, well, I never could hit a curveball. Hi, this is Martin again, Superman78.com, Kate Wonder Europe. And this is part 2 of our video of the Jay Towers collection. And wow, as if the last one wasn't enough, we are now in the basement. And some of the, let's say some of the larger exhibits are down here for your enjoyment, starting with this. I guess you would have to call this, it's not antique, but it's definitely a vintage piece. This is the Pinball Machine, is it Atari? It's Atari.
Yeah.
Atari Pinball Machine from 1979. I mean, these are astonishingly rare. And this is in fully working order, in spectacular condition. Joe, where'd you find this?
A couple of guys in the Michigan Pinball Club know I'm a Superman fan, have seen the website and the segments, and they said, are you ever interested? We have an Atari Superman Pinball Machine coming in. And I said, why, yes, I am.
Can't be many of these left in the world, surely.
No. And these, I don't know a lot about pinball machines, but the guys that gave me this, and I mean, they opened this thing up and showed me the mechanics behind it, and it is fascinating how these things work. But, you know, getting original parts are tough, but yeah, they have the original, you know, catalogs that came with them and all, and very cool. And there's a great shot of Christopher Reeve playing this, not this machine, but a machine very much like it.
Yeah, Chris played one, and yeah, imagine that. It must have been very weird for him, having played the part, looking at this, going, wow, this whole thing is probably getting out of hand.
Now, you'll also be interested in knowing that this pinball machine was featured in Richard Donner's movie Inside Moves.
Indeed.
In the bar. Ah. And you can plainly see that Superman flying on the side of it in many shots in the movie.
Anybody that was fond of renting videos in the 1980s would remember these. These are the full-size Standies. That is a theatre promotional one. As it's saying, coming for summer. That is video. That's time with the 50th anniversary. That looks very much like an original theatre standee also. Look at that, that's a terrific one. The adventure continues. And yes, it does to this day. Follow me. Anybody that's a fan of Jay will know that anytime that he broadcasts from home, that you will recognise this area. This is his. What do you call this?
I call my home studio. I record commercials here, podcasts with Jim, and yeah, I get a lot of work done down here. Yeah. I can't part with. I know the world is streaming, but I have a hard time parting with DVDs. VHS tapes.
VHS tapes.
There's some Blu-rays, yeah.
I've still got VHS tapes.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about how many in the fan community still hold on to those. I mean, they have a nostalgic quality. I mean, they're just VHS tapes, but they have a nostalgic quality all their own.
This is my favorite. Look, the making of Superman and the making of Superman 2.
That's an original US release.
Yes,
is that how it came? My gosh, that's a massive box, isn't it? Crikey. Absolutely wonderful. And you've got original big box releases for the entire of the series, haven't you?
Many of them, yeah.
Let's have a look at this one. Wow, what is this?
That is a German Super 8 film of the movie.
Wow, I've never seen that.
They also made a standard 8mm film version, which is much smaller in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. This is the
slipcase.
The press screening copy.
Oh, no.
Have you ever seen?
Never. You can always judge the quality of this with how that's like a first print of the painting.
Yeah.
That is as detailed as I've ever seen it. That's wonderful, that.
Superman is still flying high, and it's good fun.
It's good fun.
And that is for you, for being at my home. It's a hello gift. Yes.
Don't.
Yes. It's going to sit on the shelf. You can really treasure it. Back in the UK, stare at it all day.
I said I was going to cry. I said, I've just finished, and you're going to make me start again. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. You shouldn't have.
No, it was my plan.
And you shouldn't have, is what we say in England. I remember buying this in W.H. Smith's back in the day. That was the first UK video release, I think, of this. Yes. Do you remember that, Annie?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, it was.
Oh, God, did I run home and stick that straight in the machine. My ITT video recorder. Thanks, Dad. What else do we have? Gosh, this is... Look at this.
Yeah.
What's this?
Yes.
The boxes keep getting bigger. Look at this. Gosh, they knew how to present stuff back in the day.
And then the early days of the early days of the internet. I don't know who I bought them from, but here's the KCOP version.
Yes.
There was 2 tapes. And
what's the quality of those? Like the ones I've got?
Yeah,
Really, mine
good.
are awful.
Pretty good.
Like 15th generation, something like that.
ABC TV version or one of them there.
And there's the promotional box, Martin, for that tape release. Here.
Which would have been displayed in stores?
Yes, and sometimes they were hung from the ceiling, like
Indeed.
a mobile.
So, if we pull back to reveal this amazing piece. Now, I know very little about this. I mean, I'd seen pictures of it because I kind of have archived as many like full-size displays. It's kind of my obsession of Superman as it is. But this, I mean, this is restored to some degree or not?
The hair is.
The hair is.
It
had to be though, didn't it?
What's that?
It had to be.
It was in really rough condition. This was, and it actually, Jim Bowers was here when it arrived, but this came from the Ripley's Believe It or Not Wax Museum in San Antonio, Texas. But it had been in New Jersey for a couple of years, just in an antique store where everybody could come by, and the inside of it smelled horrific. And we hosed it down, and this costume's a little on the fragile side. The hands aren't exactly even, but you know, it's pretty cool to have. And you can find pictures of it online. You can find pictures of people standing with it in San Antonio when that museum was still open. I don't think it's open anymore.
Quite a few of these kind of, you know, put together display pieces that people just love them. It didn't matter that they weren't the most super accurate things in the world. It was just the fact that they were there.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, I would have loved this.
Sure.
I'd have a picture taken with this all day long. But Ripley's Believe It or Not is not a well-known thing in the UK.
No.
It's wasn't it a show presented by Jack Palance and used to say Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Yes, that's the show.
That's the show. But we never had it. I don't think it was ever broadcast in the UK.
Yeah, the painting by Dave Santillo. I have a lot of his work in the house that's behind, and you know,
yes.
that was a nice gift from Aaron Smolinski. He said, "What's your favorite picture of me from the movie?" I said that one, and then I got that nice painting. You have a cosmonaut.
Genuine art, yeah.
Cosmonaut from Superman 4.
Love this, but I wouldn't I? You know, what an advocate of this picture that I am.
If you want to cosplay in that this weekend, you can.
Could you imagine? This was a prop store.
Prop store. I got 2 of them.
This was the one that we saw.
Blue one, wasn't it, as well?
With the US blue one, but I was really taken with the patches on this. I thought this was terrific.
And the patches obviously are different from the film, so they used it for something else after.
Oh, really? Are they?
Those are not the patches worn in the film that I can tell.
Including the Sawyer's one on the shoulder.
Well, maybe that is
interesting.
It's been hard for me to screen match.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have a Lex Luthor. You have a Gene Hackman. The tags inside Gene Hackman from the scene of him in his lair. It's
Superman the movie when
Yeah.
he's up there looking for that copy of National Geographic.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's my favorite look of Gene as Lex, with the
elaborate
silver
wig.
hair and the big bow tie. Yes.
So that is, I mean, you should pan down because those superb 70s flares are something to behold. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that, if that doesn't scream authenticity, I don't know what does. Promotional standee for the soundtrack. Jim, tell us what you know.
Jim, tell us what you know.
Yes, he needs to be on camera.
These were made for record shops, record stores. And you can see there's a holder here for the 2 LP set of Superman the movie. And it had a motorized, rotating, flying Superman. The same Superman we see flying in the gatefold of the soundtrack.
Ah, yes.
So they cut him out of one of these, and they put 2 of them against each other and made it twirl around. Of course, we know this album, such a spectacular release, that Mondo re-released not too long ago.
Yeah.
Did a great job. It sold out immediately. So these are cardboard that you have to put together, and there's a top half and a bottom half. It's quite challenging to keep it to staying properly stacked where it doesn't fall over like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you know. Then you'd have to straighten it.
Then you have to straighten it and upset the vendor.
So what's interesting about this is we've got a composite image. We've got a phone booth. And then we've got Chris Reeve, but we've got his head
Yeah.
from the mugger scene.
Yes.
When he first notices the mugger pointing the gun at him. But then as for the rest of the body, I don't know if that's even Chris's hands. I think it's a stand-in, and obviously that costume is not what he wears in the movie.
No, that's a t-shirt.
So it's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So this composite is completely unique to this Warner Records promotional release. And I would venture to say, because these are so rare, that they were just thrown away. The first time I ever saw one was at the 50th Anniversary International Superman Exposition in Cleveland in 1988. I never saw one in a record store.
And given that it is so rare, how did you manage to get hold of that?
Auction?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, got it from an auction. And
It's in superb condition.
It really
yeah,
is.
it's great.
Considering it's just a fit-together cardboard standee.
And he's still out there conducting and traveling the world.
Aged.
He's
How
in
old is he?
his late 80s, I believe.
Late 80s.
Yeah, and he was just in Europe
Yep.
conducting, and he has a very active. There's a few very active John Williams social media pages, so you can really keep up with what he's doing.
For those of us in the UK, Superman in concert is going to be at the Albert Hall of all places. I mean, that's the venue of venues, isn't it? In terms of
For sound, it's
For sound.
acoustically
so,
absolutely brilliant.
you know, we can't wait for that. We've waited 2 years. We have waited for it. So
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
waited 2 years for it. It's finally coming to these shores. It's already premiered in Vienna to great response. So that's the next thing for us, and it's just going to be tears from the first
It's a beautiful,
first strings. I would
yeah,
think.
it's a beautiful, beautiful building.
And then it's coming to the U.S.
And then hopefully,
Right.
straight over.
dates
over the
to be
pod
announced.
to
but
you guys.
I've inquired with the powers that be, and dates have yet to
And you don't want
be
to miss
told.
it.
And I think Jay and I need to go at least to a couple of cities and see this.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully it comes here. Apparently they have a very nice orchestra in Detroit and in Las Vegas.
But this is us, all prepped for Motor City Comic Con this weekend.
Yeah.
And to say excitement wouldn't really cover anything close to what it actually is for us. So we're so glad to be here. I'm really honoured to be shown this collection. I mean, this is a really big deal. It doesn't get any bigger than this. Thank you for this as well. And so, yeah, that's the tour. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you've both learned something and seen something that you wouldn't have seen before. That's the most important thing to me. I always try to do that with the channel. I always try to introduce something from the Superman series that maybe you're not familiar with, or maybe, you know, you've seen but weren't too sure about. And, you know, as best we know, as best we can. And it's thanks to fans like Jay, Jim, Andy, Alexi, all of this crowd. We all pull together and we just share the info because of the mutual love for this guy. And long may it continue.